If you've ever come back with an extra suitcase from Japan, you better listen up because this video is absolutely for you. Hey guys, it's Ilana. Welcome back to my channel. We have seen so many videos on social media of so many crazy travel and tourism hauls. And while there's absolutely nothing wrong with shopping while you're traveling, especially internationally, some people on social media like to take it a step further and overconsume. Full disclaimer, I am not saying that you cannot buy stuff when you shop abroad. I think you should buy things when you travel. I always have to bring back souvenirs for myself, and I do like to bring some souvenirs back for my friends as well. Seriously, I genuinely encourage you to go shopping when you visit another country. I absolutely do. Because you want to bring back something that you can remember your trip by. It makes total sense to want to visit and get some cool products from countries that you honestly can't get anywhere else, especially from your own home country. What I want you to take away from this video is that I want to encourage people to just shop more mindfully when they go visit other countries. Because I just see a lot of travel hauls of people purchasing products that I can guarantee you they don't actually need. So that is what I want you to take away from this video before anyone attacks me like people buy what they want. They absolutely can buy what they want, but that doesn't mean I still can't criticize tourism and travel overconsumption. The reason I brought up Japan in the first place is because I see tons and tons of videos that constantly show up of people always coming back with these massive hauls when they visit Japan. It's just been very noticeable. And the reason a lot of these do pop up in my For You page is because I am trying to go to Japan towards the end of the year, so I have looked at videos on like things to do in Japan, sightseeing, things to eat, all of that, right? And so of course the shopping stuff is going to trickle its way into my feed. So I obviously will go shopping when I'm in Japan. I'm really excited about it because there are so many cool things that you can get in Japan that you obviously can't get anywhere in America. Obviously, like, I'm not always going to be finding J-beauty, Japanese snacks, and cool clothes in America unless if it's sold by a Japanese store that specifically imports it. So this video is also a little thing for myself as well, but I know there are other people who do travel, not just to Japan, but internationally, who may have this issue or may get tempted by it because of social media, so that's another reason as to what also inspired me to make this video. As I mentioned, I do make travel purchases, and when I went to Hong Kong this past fall, I did buy stuff, but I didn't buy a shit ton of stuff also because I had a limited budget. And I do think it is important that you create a budget for yourself so you don't overspend. But we'll get into that later because that's not what we're talking about today. Let's just talk about travel and tourism overconsumption as a whole. There is a huge rise of consumerist travel culture, and I do think we have social media to blame that on. I feel like people are now thinking that in order to experience a culture, no matter where you're visiting, it seems like you have to buy a shit ton of stuff. Otherwise, it seems like your trip didn't happen or that your trip was somehow unsuccessful because you didn't buy a lot of cool shit when you were in that country, which I think is absolutely absurd. There are so many videos now on like YouTube and TikTok and maybe even Instagram where people will make content saying like, here's what you need to buy when visiting so-and-so country. I see a lot of videos in Japan specifically, like there's this really big store called Don Quixote, which I have been to before, but in Hong Kong. And I've seen so many videos being like, here's what you must buy if you are shopping at Don Quixote. And a lot of these social media videos encourage this consumerist behavior. And while there's nothing wrong with people making recommendations, these people also know what they're doing at the same time by allowing others to contribute to the consumerism that happens when you travel. Travel hauls are becoming more and more popular, and it is now a way where people can flex how much stuff they have bought when they have been visiting other countries. Social media, I feel like, really pressures us to share what we purchase. When I went to Hong Kong, I didn't really share a haul, like a separate haul video anywhere like on TikTok. I may have shared, I can't remember if I even shared like what I bought at the ladies' market in the Mongkok neighborhood. And if I did, it was just like, you know, okay, here's everything I bought. Okay, boom, let's move on. It wasn't like a whole ass dedicated haul video, right? I remember I bought some chopsticks, some magnets. I bought a Lucky Cat. I bought a Japanese cleanser and some face masks. That was it. I did not buy a lot of stuff, and that was also because I didn't have a lot of money to begin with. But I can guarantee you I probably would have bought in a little bit more if I had a bigger budget, but I now try to buy things that I only need when I go visit internationally. Because I feel like I still see a lot of people who go to Japan or a lot of Asian countries specifically where they come back with repeats of the same different beauty product. You don't need to stock up on things that you maybe are buying for the first time when you've never even tried it. Yes, I understand. You don't have access to these products, but you don't need to stock up and buy like 5 of them when it could take you some time to go through one. People forget that beauty products go such a long way, and beauty products also expire. So when you buy multiple products over like that, whenever you go and visit somewhere internationally, it's still very wasteful and you're still at risk for letting those products expire. So speaking of Japan, I know I'm gonna pick on Japan because I just see it more come from Japan, and just so we're clear, I absolutely will go shopping when I'm in Japan, trust me. But I'm still gonna be mindful about my shopping. The reason I am picking on Japan so much in this video is because people do see Japan as a shopping destination, and I get it. Like, you got Harajuku and Shibuya and a lot of other cool neighborhoods in Tokyo that offer a wide variety of things. You have stores like Muji, Don Quixote, Daiso. There's a huge Uniqlo, and people are going to be tempted to buy a lot of stuff. People are always showing a lot. Like, there is, trust me, there is an abundance of novelty souvenirs, and other just cool exclusive goods that you can find in Japan that I feel like most people choose to focus on compared to other countries, when you can also find that stuff in other countries to begin with. People who show these hauls from Japan and other Asian countries will typically show at least 10 items, if not even more, just to say that they went to Japan, and they will claim that these items are only available in Japan. Well, I want to tell you a little secret. Well, yes, there are plenty of items in Japan that you can exclusively only buy in Japan. Some truth was revealed to me when I went to San Francisco back in January. Keep in mind, I used to live there, but in that last video, I said that I wanted to kick myself for never fully immersing myself in Japantown. But Japantown has a really awesome Japanese grocery store that actually has food that you could technically only get in Japan, like the avocado Doritos. Oh my god, they're so good, by the way. I thought you could only get those in Japan. Nope, you could get them here in America if you visit San Francisco, if you live there. A lot of Japanese beauty products. There are plenty of Japanese beauty stores. I think there's like 2 or 3 Japanese beauty stores in the Japantown Center. And they carry those brands that you can even find at a Don Quixote in Asia. So that's, of course, San Francisco is just one place, and I understand not everyone has access to San Francisco, but it is proving my point that not everything can be found in just Japan. Also, people forget that Asian grocery stores exist, like H Mart, for an example, which is a chain. I know not every state has one. Asian grocery stores and H Mart do exist, and you can get tons of amazing good food that is imported from not just Japan, but other Asian countries like Korea. So you can get a lot of good stuff that is specifically imported from those countries and still not have to worry about the FOMO of not having those foods and feeling like you have to buy a lot of stuff and stock up on it simply because it's only sold in that country. I promise you, you can find ways to get it in your country. I'm just speaking for America because that's where I live. And even if it's not available in the country, then see if you can find it online. Like, you don't necessarily have to go to Japan to buy it. I just wanted to put that out there. But back to these hauls, just these tons of tourists hoarding makeup products, skincare, snacks, merch, and anime goods specifically. I understand we have fans of different anime shows and whatever, but like, again, maybe consider narrowing those things down and thinking about, like, what are you actually going to use? Because I feel like a lot of stuff that you can find at these stores are still kind of junky in my opinion. Especially gacha machines. They were those like they're basically a gacha machine is like one of those like vending machines, and you can find them in America in a way where you put the quarter in, you twist it, and then a little toy pops out. In Japan, gacha feels a little bit more like gambling because people want to go after a certain product, so they keep putting money in so they can, and they keep playing until they get the actual toy that they want. Those toys kind of remind me of the McDonald's Happy Meal toys. And while some of them can be cute for children, I'm just not really sure why an adult needs a gacha toy. It's different if they want it as like a little souvenir in memory for their trip. Totally fine. I understand some people do collect gacha. But if you're somebody who just wants to get a lot of gacha just for the sake of getting gacha, because again, you're saying that you went to Japan and you invested yourself in the gacha culture, I find that to be very wasteful. Again, that is just simply my opinion. Please don't come for me. I understand people have their reasons for why they purchase gacha, but for me, I would probably get like one to three gachas as like, you know, a little souvenir for myself and maybe some for my friends, but there's no need for me to have like a whole collection of these little toys that I just simply am not going to find much of use for. Again, just my opinion and how I feel about them. I still think they are a cool concept regardless. And I want to go back to Don Quixote really quick. So Don Quixote has a couple of locations all in Asia, and I think Hawaii has one as well. I could be wrong. But when I was in Hong Kong, I did go to Don Quixote, or they call it Don Donki there. It's the same store. And they're also just a little bit smaller because the mega stores are in Japan. And let me tell you, that store is sensory overload. It is incredible. I got a lot of good stuff, and I spent a total of $14 there. And let me tell you, I only focused on buying things that I needed. But people who go to Asian countries like Japan will come back having to buy a whole new suitcase, usually at Don Quixote, for all the shit that they're going to buy at Japan. Now, for me, I don't have room for an extra suitcase. And because I was worried about, like, my spending when I went to Hong Kong, like, I didn't know how much stuff I was actually going to come back with, I just brought an extra big suitcase with me for anything that I know wouldn't fit in my suitcase back to the States. And it didn't even fill up halfway, but you know, it was better safe than sorry. So when I do visit other countries, I do bring another suitcase, and I really recommend that if you are going to visit a place like Japan. Because yeah, you probably are going to buy a lot of things that you aren't going to fit back in your suitcase. Like I said, I do encourage shopping in Japan, but again, just be mindful and buy the things that you need, not the things that are trending on TikTok and you feel like you need to buy because it's a viral product. I think travel consumption can become very materialistic. You know, I feel like it's harder to connect with the culture of the place that you're visiting when you're constantly consuming. I think consuming should be a small part of your trip, or you integrate it into your activities. Like, let's say you go visit a temple, or you go somewhere that maybe has like a little souvenir shop. You see how that's more integrated into it? And the souvenir shop should be the last thing that you do before you leave the site. First, actually explore the culture thing that you're there for. That is what I mean. You want to be doing more immersing yourself than shopping. Or have a small portion of your day to do that shopping, but don't let shopping be the only thing that you do on your trip. That's what I want people to take away, is that don't let that be the culture of your trip, because that is not necessarily the culture of the place that you're visiting. And like I said, don't waste your money on things that you're not going to use at home. Like, don't buy that product just because it's cheap and that your money is going to stretch far, because I know everybody likes to take advantage of the weak yen and how their American dollars are gonna go far. Buy the things that you need, because nobody wants to deal with excess baggage fees or a lot of product waste and having just a bunch of clutter at home, because where are you gonna put that stuff that you buy? I do think that all these crazy travel hauls do kind of skew people's perceptions on experiencing another country should look like. Coming back with a huge haul from a country should not be what people should expect when it comes to traveling. And I feel like I could make a whole nother video on how social media ruins our perception when it comes to traveling abroad. I feel like that'd be a great video topic that I can dive into at a later time. But I do think that the travel haul culture really, really plays a huge role into that. Don't feel like having to buy a bunch of shit in a new country feels like that's gonna maximize your trip. You can still maximize your trip in so many ways. If you plan on spending a lot of money for your trip, maybe invest that money into a really nice hotel, or maybe use that to treat yourself to a business or first class plane ticket. I mean, I flew business class to Hong Kong and it was an incredible experience. Honestly, that's where a good chunk of my money went to. And of course, like, I could have used more of that money for my trip, but I really wanted to treat myself, as that was a graduation present to myself from beauty school. But besides the point, I'm just saying, like, use that budget that you have for your trip for more luxurious, expensive things like a nice hotel, or maybe wanting to splurge on a really nice fancy meal. Things like that is what I'm talking about. And then the last thing I want to talk about in terms of reiterating the whole be intentional thing, I get people want to bring back souvenirs for their friends. And I think that's a really nice thing to do for people. The gesture's really sweet. I like to bring back souvenirs for my friends. I think if you're going to do that, pick maybe 1 to 3 friends that you want to bring back souvenirs for. I know it sucks to choose between your friends. And if somebody does ask you to bring something, you know, you can do it if they ask. For me, I typically choose 1 to 3 friends, and I typically buy them things that I know that they will find useful. A magnet is a great thing to buy for friends. I mean, they make great decor on the fridge. I will typically give them like a couple snacks or candy, and then maybe one other useful item. I remember I brought back chopsticks for my friends because I know they love to eat Asian food. So chopsticks was going to be a great souvenir gift for my friends. So something like that is what I'm talking about. But I think, again, when you visit a country, I think it's more important that you focus on the food, the experience, the culture, the museums, the people, the nature. Soak that part up in your trip. I feel like people forget to do that when they go visit other countries, especially Japan. And also, don't forget to support small businesses while you're there. I think bringing back something from a small business makes that item just even so much more special, in my opinion. And I think those are the things that you truly cannot get in the US or any other country. So as I mentioned, you don't need to bring back a whole new showcase to prove that you went somewhere and to flex off your whole haul. Now, if you do like to shop, I do recommend that you already bring another suitcase that you have, so you're not buying another suitcase to take up space in your closet. Because again, I know it can be tempting to buy a lot of stuff when you go to another country. And again, I think, you know, there are exceptions here, but like I said, be mindful, be intentional, and again, buy the things that you need. So I'm curious to know, have you visited a country and felt like you had to basically buy a whole nother suitcase, or are you more mindful with your purchasing and you make it fit? I'd love to know your thoughts down below and how you like to shop internationally and what you do to bring it back. If you liked this video, do make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video.